Hello, Arx. I'm King Cosma, and this is Anamana. And today you're listening to the Oracle Fleet Podcast, episode 20, your weekly podcast for Fantasy Star Online 2 news and information, especially for that of the global servers. Today we have Honey Jar, a Twitch streamer from Australia, in fact, same as Anamana. Ooh. And she plays on Ship 2. Welcome to the podcast, Honey. How you doing today? Same with you, Anamana. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
I'm not too bad. A little bit tired, but I'm good.
Hey, well, we got a lot of questions to be asking off today, especially given the recent news for PSO2 New Genesis. So there's some things to talk about. But Honey Jar, as always, we do have some questions that we're going to ask you about your history with PSO2 and how you came up as a streamer for the community and whatnot. You have time to sit with us today.
Sorry?
Love it. Yeah, it's all good. We're just gonna ask you some questions about your history with Phantasy Star. You know how you come up and how you come to love the game. So first question: when did you start the Phantasy Star series? Like throughout all of them, where was your beginning?
Just want to start by saying thank you though for having me here. I've been watching your podcasts for a while, and I'm a big fan of both of you, of your streams and YouTube. Okay, so PSO2, I think I started exactly 11 months ago, actually. And what happened was I was playing MapleStory 2. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but like, it crashed, like it did terribly, like Nexon did terribly. And then, so like my guild members and myself were like looking for games to go to now, because we had, I think our guild was like 100 people or something like that. It was probably like less than that by the end of it. And we had nowhere to go. And then I was just like playing different games, clicking different games with this girl named Seiko that I play with a lot. And then she's like, oh, I used to play on Japan, this game, and now they have a global server. Do you want to try it? I was like, yeah, of course. Like, what is it? And she shows me. I was like, yeah, she's like, yeah, but like, it's on Windows Store. And I heard the download is terrible. And every time it updates, there are people who are like, have to re-download the whole game, which was 70 gigs. And at that time, I didn't have NBN. Like, it's like a faster Australian internet. And so like, downloading would have taken forever. But I was like, I want to play games now.
Yep.
It's just like, yeah, but like Steam's gonna come back in 3 weeks, and I'm like, no, I need to have it. So yeah, I started then, and I loved it since. But she, you know, most of my friends kind of waiting for New Genesis now. I think everyone is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just my alliance and just me. But yeah, that's how I started.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Did you or your friend have any problems with the install?
I didn't at all.
Okay.
I never had a problem. I read about a lot of them because like I was trying to get other people to install it, and they were like, I don't want to have to re-download the game every time it patches. But I heard the tweaker kind of just like protects you from all that. So I was willing to do it.
So, question about MapleStory real quick. I know this is kind of going off on a little side piece here, but what exactly happened to that game? Because I remember a lot of people were interested in it. I remember playing MapleStory 1, and PSO2 was out at the time, so I didn't really jump into MapleStory 2. But all I'm hearing is these like terrible things. What exactly happened, if you know?
I don't know what exactly happened. I do know that every time there was a problem, people were like complaints about it, like everywhere on Reddit, on Twitter and everything. And then it felt like the developers kind of made like half-assed changes about it. And then by the like near the middle to end of it, it just felt like every change that they made was made without trying to see if it worked out. And then it was just like so many different changes that ended up like not working out. And then the game was only great at the end, like the very, very end, when they were actually like giving us the stuff that we wanted and everyone was actually enjoying the game. But by then, they already decided to shut the game down, which was like right when COVID started as well. So if they actually pulled through a little longer when people were like, you know, stuck at home, then I feel like they would have made it longer. But yeah, it just didn't happen that way. It sucked.
Probably just wasn't worth it financially, because I know that's how my company shut down. We used to do like work for WB and whatever, and we were going to stick it out through the COVID thing, but financially it just wouldn't have worked through. It wouldn't have worked out. So they just called us and said, yeah, we're just shutting it all down. I was big sad
It's
that day.
So
Yeah.
sad. I felt so
Yeah.
betrayed because when you imagine if you drop so much money on skins and like outfits on PSO2 and they're like, I'm shutting you down now. Like
Yeah.
all the thousands of dollars that people have spent on their characters gone.
That's
I
why
was
I'm
so
glad that
betrayed.
they are. That's why I'm glad why they're doing New Genesis the way they are, so that people do keep all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's so nice. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
So, what class do you play in PSO2? Because I've seen some of your streams and you mix it up a little bit every now and again. But I see you mainly, from my point of view, I've seen you have more play time on Summoner. But what class do you really main?
I mean, Summoner, I'm just playing the other classes to like try them out, get a feel for them. And then like, I have to level them, so I might as well like test them. And then, because like I believe that I don't talk down on anything unless I give it a fair go, So I
Fair.
want to give everything a fair go at least once. And that's why you see me playing different classes every so often. But yes, I do main Summoner. I like how chill it is. And because like takes less focus from me, I feel like I can focus on like, making friends and talking to the community and all that at the same time. So
Yep.
yeah, I like Summoner and you get to feel like a Pokemon trainer.
Still waiting for that Pokemon crossover. Don't
Yeah.
at me. I'm just,
What's
I want my Pikachu.
what's your
I'd
favorite
love it.
pet?
Viola.
Viola. Okay. I
Yeah.
was when I used to play Summoner, I was Jinga.
Yeah, I see a lot of them.
Which one is Jinga? I'm sorry, I don't know all the pet's name.
Wanda,
bulk.
but Swole.
Wait, the what?
Wanda, but Swole.
Yeah.
Bigger dog.
What's big old doggo?
It's like an evolution of
Mhm.
Wonder, but they don't really evolve.
Yeah.
But it looks like it. It's cooler Wonder. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
See, now that would have honestly been the thing that would bring me to Summoner if they actually evolved, and just got stronger as you kept pushing them. I don't know. I just hope, like, I don't know, because they did announce that some things were coming to New Genesis, and I'm just hoping for a little bit more because I want a reason to play Summoner. I'm not gonna lie. You guys play Summoner. I just watch y'all play, and I'm just like, yeah, this looks really fun. But that's a lot of maintenance. I don't think I want to do that. My brain just can't handle all that maintenance.
It's an
So-
investment in like
Is it?
time and yeah, because like so many people want to try Summon and they try and they're like, I don't do damage.
Yep.
And you absolutely can't do damage unless like over time, like with other classes, if you have a lot of Meseta, you can kind of, get away with like buying stuff off of the market and then building everything you got. But with Summoner, there's like a cap for like, you need to feed your pet eggs for the stats to increase. And then you can only feed it 5 at a time. And then there's a time cap for any more than that. So to be strong as a summoner, it needs to be done over time, unless you're gonna like, throw so much money into it. It's not possible to be strong.
Cannibalism?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what I think the
Oh,
reason
God.
why people go into Summoner, either because they're not in the enemy's face, they think it's boring, which is
Mhm.
fine, play something else. But also, I think people go in with like level 1 pets and like, why am I not doing damage? It's like because your pet's
Yeah.
like 1 out of 120 levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so-
even the ones from the collector,
Mm.
those don't do damage either because your stats are all at 0. Like even it's
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
just a number 100, but your stats are like nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So is it better to drop a pet or to get a pet from the collection folders?
I think better just get it from the collection folder and then you still have to feed it regardless.
So on the pets, if you look at eggs, they've got like stats on them, and if you
Right.
feed the pet those eggs, they'll get those stats. And there's also caps for different stats and stuff like that. So like collection folders like level 100 pets by default, right? And then
Yeah.
you feed them for the stats. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like you don't want to use just one pet either because like if that dies you want to rotate to another pet. Some pets have better weapons that they can equip to as well. So you need to have multiple weapons and then you rotate between those to get the right buffs.
Yeah. Like Rycross stuff and stuff like that works well with different pets kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also you got the sweet box as well,
Yeah.
which is basically
Bit complicated.
a fixing, right? It's basically the same.
It's basically a fixing, but like I don't affix at all.
Oh no.
You guys are basically just playing a whole other game. We're just sitting here mashing buttons. And you guys are
It's
like, yep,
too expensive.
It is.
playing Pokemon now.
That's why you get your alliance to make your units for you.
My alliance is just me.
Oh no.
I'm about to do. I don't need the
Couple
god
hours.
units, but some people, honey, when you gonna make a units for me?
You know, everyone keeps telling me to affix, and I've tried twice now. And the last time I actually tried, I sat there for, I think, an hour and a half, just panicking. And I never affixed anything. I never got anything done. I just sat there panicking. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Everything looks really expensive. And everyone was telling me different things. I was the worst thing ever. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a summer. I don't need to affix. I think even if I affix my units, yeah, I'll get like more defense and all that, and maybe more PP. But like, I think most of the damage is about your candy box and like upgrading your pets and all that. So I was like, save my Meseta for fashion.
Fair. That's fair.
The only thing that matters. Oh my
It
god.
really is.
So, what content do you find yourself enjoying the most out of PSO2 currently?
I enjoy grinding in any RPGs, MMOs, but for me, it's mainly like hanging out with everyone. Because you always see me like do my stuff with people whenever I stream. It's like really rarely when I do it by myself, and if I'm doing all like the grind by myself, it's generally because I'm trying to get, you know, the mission pass, or I'm like focusing on upgrading, I don't know, my weapon or something like that. So that's the only time that maybe I'll do it by myself, but most of the time I just enjoy hanging out with the community, meeting people, running things with people, and just like encouraging. Like I don't know if it's weird, I like reviving people in the game.
I mean, that's a good thing because there's a lot of people that don't revive, right?
Yeah, like I kind of went into the game hoping that I'd get to play a healer. Like I wanted to be like Yuna from Final Fantasy X.
Yep.
I'd be like a healer summoner, and I was going for that. But then when I went to play the game, there's no healer. Everyone heals each other. There's one heal spell. So yeah, I just enjoy reviving people every now and again. Like I like the UQs. I think that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like big party things, UQ working together. But yeah.
Fair.
That sounds like a way to go. Honestly, we had a conversation about that before, about ways that PSO2 can kind of, I want to use the word centralize classes into a certain role. So more classes that really push the healing buff mechanic or debuff mechanic. You have other classes that specializes in attack, whether it be DPS, burst DPS, OT DPS, you know, and OT overtime. So, you know, things like that. And that kind of brings more players like you into the fray when we're talking about, you know, getting people more invested into that class and how to play versus always constantly being a DPS, you know?
Yeah. It's nice to change it up though.
Yep. I definitely think in New Genesis, I think it's if you, I don't know if it's main or sub, Force or Tekka, you'll be able to do like a mass heal and mass revive.
I don't like Tekka.
Oh.
I had like a bit of PT. I didn't expect, you know, when you hold the wand, I was expecting to like cast a lot. And so because I tried so many different classes and I never look up guides or anything, I went in with like my wand, all excited to like cast spells, and then I ran out of PP so fast.
No.
And then my whole chat was like, just bonk them. And I'm like, no, what do you mean? I'm holding a wand. And they're like, no, you have to bonk them. And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I'm holding a wand.
Yeah.
And then I, like, afterwards, when I actually looked up a guide, I'm like, oh shit, I actually had to bonk them.
Yeah.
Well,
the good thing,
yeah, go on.
the good thing about like PSO2 New Genesis is that you can still main whatever you can, as long as you've got a main class and subclass, or whatever weapons any of those use, you can just focus on. So if Summoner comes out down the line, you get the benefits of their skills, but you can still just focus on Summoner stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that would work. I don't know. I just have this bad vibe against Tekka.
It's it's weird because it's wand. You need to look at it as like a battle mage, if anything.
Yeah, I wish I was told that or like expected that when I went in,
Yeah, it's
but
fair.
it just is what it is now.
See, but when thinking of a wand, I'm always thinking about like Harry Potter, like a little stick that you're just gonna wave back and forth and cast spells with. You're never really thinking about a giant blade that imbues electricity, and you're now a katana master. What? No one told me this.
Exactly. Exactly. Like you don't see Harry Potter going up to like Voldemort, like physically
And
attacking
bonking him.
See.
We saved that for the fan fiction.
A little stick like this and just go.
Oh god.
That would be hilarious. I need this meme to be made. Can we get an animator on this, please? So, honey, what is your favorite moment in PSO2 through like your time playing? Do you have any of those?
My favorite moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like good or bad?
Any?
Yeah. Yes.
Like-
Yes. Okay, I have a favorite dungeon to start. My favorite dungeon is Magatsu. I like love and hate it because it's my first one, and I hated it because I didn't know how to like shift click all items, and at that time I didn't expand my inventory yet because I was new to the game. And so between every Magatsu dungeon, I was like clicking each individual item to put into my other inventory, and then it was like panic. But then it was kind of like a good thing. I don't know. I really loved that dungeon. And I think my baddest, like my worst moment in PSO2 that I kind of love because it's a memory now is I'm really bad with loadouts. Like whenever I change classes, because I change class so often. I didn't load out one time, and I can't remember which class I was playing. It was I think it was Force, so like I can use elements. But I went into Castrum, I think, of Demonica.
Yep.
The UQ, and I didn't bring a weapon at all, and everyone was starting, and I was already in. I'm like, guys, I don't have a weapon. What do I do? And there was just like this biggest panic, and my chest was like, just use spells. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, I'm gonna use, how am I gonna use spells? But then, like, thank God it was Forest, because then I had like good regen, so it was fine. It worked.
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything, so I ended up just like walking around, like buffing my whole team, making sure everyone had like D-band and just. But I think that would be my favorite moment. And then I got like one of my longest subs, Toothpick, is like now like still with me because of that. Like they just loved it. But that was, and now I gotta always remember to have like a spare weapon on me just in case because of that. Oh.
Yeah. So you didn't even have one in your inventory at all?
No.
Damn.
I wasn't ready. I think like I'm really slow with knowing what weapon is needed for what class. Like I just have no idea because I just go into a lot of things and I like to experience the game for myself rather than reading a guide or like looking at other things. Yeah, so I wasn't ready. I wouldn't have known which weapon to grab. I wouldn't have known which skill to grab. I had no idea, and I just...
Yep,
that happened.
I feel like with PSO2, at least for me, especially when I used to play Japan, for me, and maybe this is like what you get as well, it feels like there's this fog to it about getting into it. And then once you've like put in a few hours or a few weeks of playing it, it just starts to click. And that's what it felt like for me at the start. Like I understood how the systems worked, but it wasn't really until like at least a month or two into PSO2 on global that it really started to sink in and click for me.
Yeah, I remember looking up something. I think when I chose Summoner, and I picked a guide for it because I was trying to do my skill tree at that time.
Yeah.
And I look up guides for skill trees because like I'm not gonna make mine. I don't want to waste time on that. Well, that's a waste of time to me. Maybe other people enjoy it, like that's them, but it's not for me. And I came across something that said if you're starting off PSO2, you're gonna want to have Google up all the time. And I think because I saw that, like I knew there was gonna be a lot of questions. I was kind of ready to just like have to look up anything that I get stuck on. Yeah. So even though I was in like the fog, like you said, I was comfortable because knowing that other people were also going through that, and so much that someone had to specifically say on the internet, just have Google with you.
Yeah.
And that's what I always tell new people when they're like, do you have any advice for new people? I'm like, just have Google up, just join a like busy alliance. So then, you know, if you have questions, you can check Google, and if Google doesn't answer, you can ask your alliance.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
Good way to go about it.
Yeah. Like I remember starting JP for the first time, there was bump.org, Cernopedia, and SWiki up all at the same time, just going through. And then this is when I don't know Japanese, so this is having to translate everything. And then you go into NA, and especially if you're late now, God forbid, you know, you have to look up so much information regarding classes, level up, routes, how you're going to do it, and whatnot. It's a lot, but honestly, some of it, and I know, you know, as streamers, you guys have encountered some of these questions, some of it is really just reading as well. Whether it be like stuff like the skill tree, you know, a lot of the questions on the skill tree I've come to find myself is just, yo, if you read it, it tells you straight up, hey, this thing gives you like an extra 100% damage. You might want that. Yeah. It's like, how many points do I did? All 5. It's an extra 100%. All 5. Yes, do that. You know, and so on and so forth. It's very confusing, honestly.
It is.
But
yeah,
we figure it out as gamers.
Oh, the skill tree though.
Anamana.
Yeah.
Any new favorite moments you have so far?
So I don't have a favorite moment, but I just recently moved all my characters back to ship 1. I used to have like a character on each ship, but with New Genesis coming out, I've moved them all back to ship 1 so that I can prepare them, and then I'll move them back once New Genesis comes out. I had like a whole bunch of cosmetics that I had purchased from other ships, and I just want to get them all on the main ship. And then also, I just wanted to like level them up and give them gear, and I had like all my funds on ship 1 so I could buy gear and stuff like that. So I've just been decking them out, leveling them up, and then that way when New Genesis comes out, I can, if I do play a PSO2 side of it, I've got like level 85 at the very bare minimum for a character on each ship, which will make it easier to stream. So that's been my favorite thing recently.
You like moving? You should help the guy that like singers helping moving.
I've got like 30 characters at the moment as well, so I had to, when I moved to ship 1 from ship 2, I had to move 30 or 27 characters, and it was very expensive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How expensive
How much is it per character? Yeah.
It's 700 AC per
700
character.
AC.
So what it was, 18,900 AC. I think it was 400 Australian dollars to do, but I can write that off as tax. So it turns out that when I was calculating, my multiplication button is my mute. So that's why there's a little bit of a cut on the stream you won't see, but yeah, it was 400 Australian dollars, and I think King was in the background estimating 500.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, about 500. Yeah, that's still a lot of money.
It is.
Not even gonna lie. That's.
Oh, I think it's okay.
I mean, someone's got to keep PSO2 servers up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
if I had
fair.
more money, I'd pay them. I'd be like, yeah, I like this game. Take my money.
Yeah.
We all had the money.
What was your story about it, King? About
He was just
transfer?
starting it. Yeah.
So this one might make me sound a little bit sweaty. I have no idea yet, but I like doing pleb games of HTPD. Why? Because it's fun, and just to kind of help people push and get that win is always good to me. I understand, you know, playing with the team may be a little bit better, but you know, not everyone has that. And trust me, I understand what that feels like coming up in PSO2, playing by myself for literal years. So we go into a pleb game, and there's 2 lusters in a Tector, and it was a great game at first. It really was. And then we got to like half of HTPD, the first phase, right after we got rid of the 2 eyes and we got to the second jump. And next thing you know, this guy starts talking in the chat the entire game.
Oh,
so
no.
as we're playing through this game, there's a whole chat log filled to the brim of this guy talking through the entire game. I'm wondering, how is he not dead yet? Because he was even talking through the beam and everything. I was just like, how did you not die? And it was the reason why this game is really cool because it was the first time that I got to see the second half Sodom with the new phase for the first time, and that's where he died at because he was typing in the chat. Holy shit. You know, I'm just like, dude, really? That's what you type? It's kind of like when you see those commercials where they're driving in the car and that one person's just texting, hey, I'll be there in a minute, and then they get into a car accident and it's like, this is how it happened. That's what you were texting?
Yeah.
Of everything, anything you could have said.
Was that when you were streaming as well? Like, were they responding to your stream chat?
Yeah.
I had that too, man. I had this way back with Buster Quests, and we were doing the hard mode ones, and this dude is replying to me in chat, and it's like, dude, can you focus? Like, I have the luxury that I'm actually speaking and I'm not typing, but to like stop in the middle of everything and start typing, especially on like the hardest urgent quest in the game, it's like, just wait until after it, man, or in the intermission area kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, my chat is like quiet. The moment a UQ starts, everyone's just quiet, and like we all know, because like the point of me, I feel like the point of me being there is so that I can be there while everyone's grinding. So the moment UQ start, everyone's just like we know, and then like when someone's done, I'm like, I'm done.
Yep.
But that's crazy. Oh my god, I feel so bad.
That is also kind of weird though, because I don't know, Automata, I think you get this in your chat sometimes too, unless someone's like really talking about mechanics, right? And when you're playing, or like when you're out and you're working on your inventory box and everything, everything's live. Everyone's talking, having a good time, doing anything. But as soon as you jump into a quest, everyone gets quiet. It's done. No more conversation. People are either watching and analyzing what's going on, or they're probably playing with you and they're quiet as well. The only people who are left talking is like any randos in the chat, like really just talking about mechanics. Oh, how does this work? How do I level up? Oh, I'm new to the game. Da 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 da. It's like, really? Okay, cool. This guy was just having a whole blast. I was happy for him.
Yeah,
I really was, because he was just having a great time. Dude, do you ball out? But there's two other people here who really want this win. I want to give it to them. So no, and he ended up dying twice. He got clapped by Solo Soda. It just ended up being a waste of 15 minutes, but I was happy. It was fun. Pleb games are fun.
Yeah.
Did he at least do decent damage when he wasn't talking?
Were they equipped with like a level 10 weapon and
were they like strong?
So everybody in that MPA we found had god units and good weapons, and I was still out damaging them as Luster. I don't have god units.
Well.
Okay,
But
so
I'm
it's like
Luster,
excusable.
Yeah. I mean, the person probably just was geared and didn't really know how to play, but that's perfectly fine. That's
I mean, you can buy the keys to a Ferrari, but you know how to drive it.
That's true.
This way.
Yeah. Also, I had something I was gonna say and I can't remember. I've lost it. Oh no. Okay, so what you were saying about with stream, I feel like way back in the middle and start of PSO2's life on global was if there was an urgent quest running, chat would be quiet. But I don't know if it's because I stream on YouTube now or it's because it's just like everyone's done the content. When something's going on, people are talking.
Yeah. Oh. During when you stream on YouTube?
Pardon? What?
What?
Yeah, he streams on YouTube now.
Yeah, I stream on YouTube.
No, I mean like is that what happens when you stream on YouTube?
Yeah. Like if
everyone's just talking during UQ.
Yep. Like in the chat. But it's only because I've got a bigger channel. If I was like starting out and went to YouTube, it'd probably be the same as starting out on Twitch kind of thing. Yeah. And also a lot of people watch from work kind of thing.
Community rise up.
Oh, true. Yeah. Okay, I think that would be the few that do talk during the UQ, the ones that are at work.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, outside and they're like on their phone, which is kind of nice. Like it's so nice that you can watch on your phone and like be there instead of like on your computer.
Yeah, I used to do that when I hated my job.
Watch video games.
Yep.
It's so good. Or like play phone games. Like I had this friend, like I used to play this other phone game as well. Like this is so off topic. But during like a guild raid, like everyone would go onto the raid. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, where you work. I had this friend who was a doctor and he'll go into like the bathroom for a bathroom break to quickly raid. and then go back to work. But like, no one knows, which is great. But yeah, sorry, completely off topic.
That's so good.
How do you even evacuate to the bathroom that long and no one notices?
Oh, the rate, it's since it's a mobile game, it was like a 5-10 minute thing. Yeah.
Just say,
Mobile
you just
games.
come back and say, man, I should have taken a rope.
Oh god.
Alright. So everyone here has seen Prologue 4? Yeah.
Some parts of it.
Uh,
I-
Some part.
We're gonna talk about it anyway, so it'll be
absolutely.
the verbal version.
If you don't
Sounds
know,
good.
you're gonna learn today. Anyway, so drum roll. This is my whack drum roll. Are you looking forward to New Genesis?
Yes.
No. Oh my god, I keep getting asked this. Everyone asks me this, and I'm like, I'm not. I hate to break it to you. I'm not looking forward to it.
So the question
why?
is, oh no,
Go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, is it just because you'll play it anyway, and you no point in getting excited if it's gonna come, or is it just like, is there something about it you're not interested in?
It's not that I'm not interested in it. It's more like I don't have any interest in something that I don't love. Like, I love PSO2, but like, I guess I was under the impression that New Genesis was going to be quite different. And so I don't have a love for it, therefore I'm not interested in it. And therefore I'm not excited for it. Yeah, I'm excited to have a new game that my friends will play with me with, but I feel like if I have so much, I guess, anticipation for something, there's a high chance for me to kind of be let down by it.
Yep, that's fair.
And then when the game comes out and I'll give it a go, like I'll still give it a go despite, you know, not being excited. And then I can kind of, I guess, decide if I love it and then be excited for its future things.
Yep.
Like, I did try out the beta, but I guess in the beta you're kind of just testing out the game, and it's not really, it doesn't really give me the things that I love in a game, which is, you know, playing in like big parties. Like, not all of my friends were able to go in the beta because they were busy or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I love like quests and story, and obviously you couldn't see that in the beta, so that didn't make me any more excited. Like, yeah, it's a beautiful game, but am I excited? I'm sorry, I'm not.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. So it's like a development process. You know, you have to start somewhere and build up that love for the game. And just because I can understand that, yeah, just because a game is new or it's an update doesn't necessarily mean you automatically have to love it. It can be bad, like Maple Story 2. It could bomb, but we hope for the best. So yeah, all right, that's fair. That's fair.
It's like going into HTPD. If you don't go in with the expectation to win, you're not going to let yourself down.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we fail often. So
Me too. I still haven't passed it yet, but I like reviving people, so.
sadly, you only get 2 chances of that.
True.
So, Automata, are you excited for New Genesis?
It feels like after Prologue 4, hang on. It feels like it's basically, I've had this massive excitement and now it's kind of like either plateaued or it's just dropped a little bit. And it's not because I'm not excited, it's because we've got all the pre-information now and we're just waiting for the release date and we're waiting for the release. So I feel like I'm in a limbo at the moment, wanting the game to come out. I mean, I'll probably get excited the last week before it drops at this point. But yeah, I just don't want to burn out myself right now with no new information and obviously the game not being out. So I'm trying like I played a little bit of Soul Worker the other day. I'm using the time to try other things so that I don't, when it comes out, feel like playing kind of thing. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. I know when we were talking about it, actually, We were watching the Prologue 4, and my friends aren't necessarily into PSO2. I only have one friend who is giddy with the idea of playing PSO2, and he had the same thought process I had, and probably the same you had when it came to them releasing certain information. It was like he was really hyped for it, but then as they were saying certain things, it's like, this is probably better off waiting to see this in the game, because now my hype has just...
Yeah.
And it's not because it was bad, it's because now I've seen it and I don't get to play it, so that makes me unhappy. Like Big Frogger was one of those. It was like, oh man, this would have been great to just like see him just pull up on me out of nowhere in the middle of the game, and I'm just like, what the is that? It's a Big Frogger. And then it just would have been a great experience, you know? And then now when we go in, we're gonna see it, we're gonna be like, oh, there's Big Frogger. Trial, Big Frogger, trial. It's just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
It's like the excitement or the joy of surprise is now gone, because we now know everything that's there. But I am still excited for it, because it is another game to throw onto my list of games that may not be played because it's too many games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that though.
It's gonna be played. It's not gonna have all my heart in it.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Like I actually avoid betas. And yeah, I avoid betas. I avoid reading previews. Or anything to do with a game that I am currently playing, unless I'm playing competitively and I need to stay updated with the meta or whatever. I don't read any of that, because I like to go into the game and get that first experience kind of feel. Like I want to know, like I want to like experience everything, and like I feel like if I do play the beta and then I like that, or I don't know, maybe like I don't know, like maybe it changed during the like actual game in a way that I don't like, I'll be so much more disappointed than if I just went in and I was like, wow, it has this, wow, it has that. Like just starting from zero, I find that it makes my gaming experience so much better.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. Like we've got a person in Tier 1 Alliance, Stumpy, who's like, I don't want any spoilers. They played the beta, but yeah, they want to go in fresh, which is understandable.
I wasn't going to play the beta at all. Like everyone just kept asking me, and I'm like, guys, I hate betas because I've played a beta once, and the fact that my character gets cleared breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad this is short, so I didn't mind it. But yeah, I wasn't gonna sign up for the beta, and then it just made it worse that there was so many problems when you had to sign up for the beta. Because now I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it for you guys because you guys are asking me so much. And then when there was so many issues with it, the moment that I actually got into the beta, like I was tearing. Like I wanted to cry because it was just like I didn't want it, and now I'm going to do it. And then this is so much harder for me to get than I expected, even though I was there on the minute, like on the second. And yeah, I
know. Was that during like the lull period when everyone was trying to get into the Xbox Insider Hub?
Yeah,
and everything crashed.
Yeah, I actually had your stream up, like your live stream.
Really?
Like, yeah, I'm not in it right now. I actually had everyone's stream up. I was like trying to see what's going on, and Dudley's like, I'm gonna go to bed, guys. I'm like, hey.
And the thing is that we didn't need to. Like, the closed beta registration was up till the beta was running.
I felt upset because of that, because I was so stressed going through that. Like, I shedded tears.
Yeah.
And then it was up for like ever.
Yeah.
That wasn't expected though. Honestly, I thought they would have turned it off somewhere after like a day or two and just like hit a cap. But I just don't think they hit that cap. So they're just like, we're just gonna let it go a little bit more. See how many more people we can rack in before the game starts. See if we can hit that cap. And then we probably still didn't hit it. I know day one ship. Oh my god, ship one was full to the brim. We couldn't even leave ships without being possibly kicked out of the game because of it. So or like leave blocks, because I know somebody in a party at a time left the block and he was kicked out back to the title screen.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's how full it was.
I was thinking like, was there 64 blocks or something like that?
I believe so.
So that would have been like 6,400 players on that ship.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. But after a point, like I think after day one, everything just dumbed down. People got their fill of hours of play, and then I'm going to go back to Final Fantasy 14 now, or whatever else they play. You know, everyone's playing different games these days, especially with the abundance of releases coming out.
Yep.
Jesus. So speaking of releases, we have a lot of talk about when is New Genesis going to be announced. When do you guys think it is going to come?
Release. I think it's either the 9th, and if it's not the 9th, I think it's going to be the 23rd.
I think, okay, the only reason I think that maybe it's 9th because I saw it somewhere in my chat that it was the 9th. But from my experience of having expectations from games, it's usually like the later date. And I would prefer it if it was the later date, because the delay means that they saw a problem and they're trying to fix it. And I'm okay with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like it could so this is something that I think I was talking to Uber about, and basically Japan's on weekly maintenances at this point. So we could even see that. It could come out on the 16th, it could come out on the 30th.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm expecting the 16th. If not, I'm expecting either the 12th or the 13th.
What
anywhere
is safe in between?
So hold on, here's my reason for that though, because we had this conversation on stream today actually too, and it was talking about the release date, and they had a screenshot during the Prologue 4 saying that there was going to be a campaign specifically for New Genesis that starts on the 12th of June. All right, so the 12th of June, yeah, one of those days, it was like the 12th of June till the New Genesis start date. And I was like, hold on. So you wouldn't start this like during New Genesis time, right? You would start this after New Genesis time. So one of those, I gotta get it. But yeah, I remember it saying like the 12th. I was just like, okay, so if it starts on the 12th, then it has to be, you know, during E3 maybe.
Yeah.
So if they are going to release it, E3 one would be the most amazing time. You know how many gamers are watching E3? And then for them to say, okay, during this live broadcast of PSO2, once E3 starts, we'll say, all right, the game's available now. Everyone go download. They did that with Unravel back during the Video Game Awards 2 years ago, and it blew up. Everyone was like, Unravel 2 is available. Oh, guys, let's go get it. Oh, my God. And freaking out. And then everyone would go download that game, and it had a surge in download because it looked gorgeous. So I figure if they're going to do it then, or even the day after E3, or somewhere, you know, a week after, however they want to go about it. But the 12th is like, the 12th and up is my gap.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't pick the 2nd or the 22nd to release it.
Because
that's PSO2 day.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not? Why would you not pick those 2 days? Like that's like we love those days. I don't know. I just feel like they missed a chance.
A lot of people have been saying that E3 is no longer relevant, and I feel like it's just coming from a point of, I mean, yeah, at some point it has, at least like in person, E3 feels like it's been less relevant, but in terms of a place where they can announce things, like a date they can announce things on, I think it's still relevant. And I think it's just because we didn't have E3 last year that maybe people are a little bit jaded on it, but yeah.
I mean, with the way things are going, as far as like companies releasing games their own self through Twitter and YouTube and stuff, I don't really see a point in it myself. I mean, other than to kind of showcase the games, of course, which we all love to see, a little couple showcases. Hopefully, they don't spoil too much. But yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, what is really E3 when we just see a bunch of trailers these days? You know, or
digital
spoiling videos too. So with that being said, hold on, sorry. We have more information coming. So apparently, I dropped my pencil. Goddamn. So the level cap for PSO2 New Genesis is set for level 20 at launch, and combat power is also going to be a thing. Now we've seen people combat power in New Genesis hit about what 1200, I think was the highest.
Just over 1200 was about what people were pushing.
Yeah, and I was sitting at level 15 without really a lot of maxed out weapons for what the game truly has to offer. What do you guys thought? What are you guys' thought on the level cap and battle power and whatnot? Like, do you like that it's coming, or?
I'll let Honey go first.
Yeah.
I was hoping that PSO2, the current one, had that. Because, okay, I feel like they gotta be careful with it because MapleStory 2 had it. And it was good because it meant that the whole party had at least that minimum amount of damage to clear everything, which PSO2 sometimes has a problem with. Especially, okay, no one cares about mining base, but you know, like I would want to clear it.
Yeah.
You know, and when people can quickly level and go in, but they don't have the gear for it, you're letting down a team of 12 people, right? And I don't go in there with nothing. Like I go in there buying buffs, using all of my buffs that I pay premium for. And like this was like what happened in MapleStory. Like people, grind for those buffs. They pay real money for those buffs. And each dungeon isn't quick. Like it's half an hour of your game time, only to find out that you fail at the end. Like that kind of sucks. So I felt like PSO2, the current one, kind of needed that just to like make sure that people didn't just join the game, immediately level, and then be able to run stuff and like let everyone else down. And like they should at least grind a little bit to get there. But at the same time, because of gear, we called it gear score in MapleStory, was like they didn't balance it well, or like they made the weapons too RNG to get like the stats that you had to get for each weapon was very like RNG based, and it made playing the game very toxic because then everyone's kind of checking your weapons and checking your gear score or checking your armor, and we had pets at that time, and then a lot of people were kind of excluded from the game because of that. So I want it just so that there's more chance of everyone clearing everything and not wasting their buffs, but at the same time I'm worried that people from the community or like there's like elitists kind of like cutting people out from the game, and I don't want that to happen either.
I'm pretty much same. So we saw this problem with World of Warcraft back in Wrath of the Lich King. That was when it might have been popularized in other games, but that was when I really first noticed it. But the problem with Wrath of the Lich King was they also released the achievement system, and you could share and link achievements. So there was a requirement of a certain gear score, and there was also a requirement of having clears with achievements. So that was like a harsh part. But there's also... Oh, you go. Sorry,
that's like, when you're looking for a job and they're like, I'm looking for my first job, but you gotta have experience, you gotta have 20 years, and they're like, hello, this is where am I gonna find my first job if everyone wants someone with experience? That sucks.
So the way I look at it is there's a few problems with it, right? You got your level, people get to level 20, and I think people are laser focused on level because maybe they've never dealt with combat power. But once we get to like level, say 20, maybe there's going to be like an urgent quest, or at least a difficulty for the urgent quest, where you can't access it until you get like, let's say, just for an example, like 5,000 combat power. And maybe when you hit level 20, you're only going to be like 3,000. So technically it's still leveling, but through obtaining gear at that point. But on the other hand, this goes back to what King was saying, and also a conversation we had with someone in Arcs Council the other day. People bringing in like really crappy gear, or they're bringing in gear that they've just affixed with whatever affix bumps up the combat power the most, and in the beta we found was hit point ones, or some weird ones that you just really wouldn't use. So the thing we're worried about is that people are going to start decking out their gear with affixes that don't actually contribute to damage, and also you could just buy affixed gear off the market, and there's always going to be the skill gap, right, between players that have just bought the stuff or have just upgraded the stuff and maybe don't actually understand how to play their class properly. And that's going to be the biggest gap, I think, between endgame urgent quests and stuff like that.
I think you have some pretty fair points made, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I'm very cut and dry about it. Simply put, if you can't hack it, you can't hack it. Combat power is just one of those many things to tell someone that you just do not have the power to beat this quest. And I think coming from Final Fantasy XIV, where combat power is the bread and butter of everything, and when you're spending 30 to 45 minutes in a boss just to get them down to this much and then lose because you've been carrying somebody through the whole game. Like you just said, honey, it's annoying. It's honestly annoying. So there's a point where, yes, you may sound sweaty. Yes, you may sound like someone who just wants to win. But at the end of the day, it's a video game. We all want the rare drops. We all want the koi. We want to do better, be better. And there's one thing to tell somebody, hey, you're just kind of underleveled, you're undergeared. Here are some ways that can help you if you're looking for that. Rather than saying, oh man, you're trash, you're underleveled, you're undergeared, get out of here, we don't want you, and somebody comes in and says, oh, can I join this? Like, hey man, you're a little bit undergeared for this, we're trying to get this clear under a certain amount of time because it's a really long quest. If you wouldn't mind, I really appreciate it if you got some levels. Can anybody help them, so you're not just wasting your time with that as well. And it is what it is. Though I will say the level 20 cap, I was kind of hoping for at least 30.
Yeah. With the like gear stuff, I feel like there's two sides to it. There's the side where you're oblivious, you don't know any better. But the other day on Arcs Council, we had someone complaining that people wouldn't run them through HTPD, and when we asked them what kind of gear they had, they were saying like 10-star weapons and stuff. And it's like at some point, if you turn up to a fancy restaurant wearing, flip-flops and, I don't know, a flannelette shirt, yeah, there's a high chance you're going to get kicked out, mate. I don't know. I just feel like at some point it's like you're excluding yourself because you're too lazy.
Yeah.
Do you like fancy restaurants?
No, I don't. But I mean, I feel like it's a good example.
We do have some dress codes. It's like, hey man, if you're not wearing a blazer, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You don't have that rivulet that, and it's just like, yeah. I mean, wow, somebody really had level 10 armor. I feel that's a one shot waiting to happen.
The person said, I don't care about this, I just want to get cosmetics. And it's like, cool, you don't have to run the quest, right? Like, no one owes you that. Yeah.
HTPD is not a fun. It's not a fun quest. You're only going in for one or two things, either to win or to lose.
Can I register my son into the Olympics? He's pretty fast.
Oh god.
Hey man, if he can run in them 10-star sneakers, he can do whatever he needs to do.
What does he got?
Bring him in.
He doesn't have Air Jordans. He's got like, I don't know, Air Tods.
It's a thing that they call Black Air Force activity. Oh man. So more information coming from PSO2. Just to also bring on the fact that we have new areas that they were talking about, and the enemies as well. I know, Anamana, you're happy about Big Frogger. I'm not gonna lie, me myself, I couldn't personally stop saying the F word and calling him. You ever seen the movie Meet the Fockers? I just replaced the ER with an A, and I just couldn't stop saying. I was like, oh my god, it's in my head now, and I'm just gonna keep calling him Big Yes. But are you guys excited for the new areas? Any thoughts on the areas and enemies and whatnot?
I love like maps. That's I played Warcraft and all I did was and Final Fantasy, I think the online one.
Yep.
All I did was explore every corner of the map because there was achievements for that. So I wish there were achievements for like exploration. So absolutely, I am like all about that.
Yeah. I like the look of the lake. Looks like it's got underneath it like I don't know if it's like a research facility or dolls or something like that, but there's a mechanical structure. So I'm excited to see that, and then also the broken research facility is going to be cool to explore as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's another 32. Sorry, go ahead.
What I'm kind of worried about is like when they do have underneath like areas. Like I hope that any small area that I look like I can fit in, I want to be able to fit in it though.
Yeah, it's
like
not
I hate. Yeah, like sometimes they have doors in games. I think Cyberpunk it was.
Yeah.
There's so many doors and you can't go in it. What's the point of like, making it look pretty when I can't interact with it? So like I hope that I can go in all of those areas.
That makes sense, yeah.
We found a couple of caves in the beta that were like behind waterfalls that you can go into. And there were like a ton of materials that you can find.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get that energy with the other areas. I was honestly hoping that they would show like the other biomes. The volcanic area, the snow area, and everything. I wasn't even thinking because I completely forgot when they first showed off the game there was the forest area that they've never talked about again, and we never got to play it in the beta. So seeing it again, I'm just like, holy crap, this was a thing. We never got to go there. And you think about it, and it's right outside of the city.
Yeah, you know the river that you'd farm the monotite on?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually like that leads to that entrance to the jungle or the forest area there.
See,
I
now
don't
we
want
see
to
why.
see
I'm
it.
guessing it's gonna be like a level 20 zone, level 15 zone.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We all hope. Now regarding the classes.
Yeah, we
So-
had some new ones.
Yeah, so they had just announced that Braver, Bouncer, Summoner, and possibly Luster Part 2 is making its way to PSO2. Now, although they will be coming out in separate times throughout the year, which the Gunblade class won't be coming until next year, but we'll at least get to see the next 3 classes before the end of this year. How do you guys feel about those classes making their way to PSO2?
They needed to announce them because people want to play them. Like, it's not like people need to shut up. It's just people play those classes in PSO2 and they want to play them in New Genesis. So I'm glad they did announce them. The Silence have always been like in a weird position, but I'm at least glad that they're making Gunblade a viable weapon with its own class, whatever it is.
I feel like, yeah, it's gonna come. I don't know. I kind of expected it to come out. Like, it wouldn't be PSO2 if it didn't have all those classes.
Yeah.
Like, one thing I noticed was like they had so many different classes that other games just didn't have, and like they named it like Tekka and Force, and I just had no idea what it was. But like, it was kind of obvious that would have all been coming. Well, it was obvious to me. But I felt like I was gonna give the characters or the classes that are currently existing like a good go anyways before I move on back to Summoner if I do.
Yeah.
Or any other classes. Yeah.
Do you want the ability to be able to ride your pets like a mount?
Of course. What kind of question is that? Of course I want that.
That would be awesome.
I want a little chocobo I can ride on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Rappy. I want a Rappy I can
Big
ride on.
Rappy? A Rappy with
Yeah.
a really long neck?
Chocobo. Well,
Isn't
I mean,
Chocobo
it's
is just Rappy with a long neck, right?
It's a Rappy, yeah.
they also
It's pretty much a
stink.
Rappy.
They smell like
I
poop,
can
don't they?
imagine riding a- Yeah, apparently chocobos in the lore smell like the most grotesque thing you can possibly smell, which is
Oh.
why the meat is so aromatic. Yeah, they reek. But they're so cute, so it doesn't matter. It's like, who cares when you're cute, right?
I don't want to eat a Rappy.
It probably tastes like chicken.
I don't want to think about
Maybe.
cooking a Rappy.
Don't want a Rappy meal?
Actually,
No.
Get
But that
yourself
would
a
be
Rappy
so
meal
cool.
today, including the pecking Rappy and a free monomate with every
Oh,
order.
God.
$6.99.
It would
Oh.
make sense to have a mount though, with all the areas that we have to explore. Like, it only makes
Yeah.
sense.
So you didn't watch the prologue, right, honey?
I watched a bit of
A
it.
bit of it. Did you see any of the stuff on the AC Scratch stuff? How they've got motions now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the emotions and I saw like the Rappy pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look so scuffed watching the humanoid characters flapping their arms. I didn't know arms
Stick
came
together.
that way.
It does make the Rappy suit seem more realistic, though. You know, having those
Mm.
emotes and the stickers and everything. So if you really wanted to cosplay a Rappy, you can truly cosplay a Rappy. And hopefully, given in the future, we get if we get Godzilla back, we get like an even bigger Godzilla suit, and then we can
Yeah.
breathe fire or something like that.
Mhm.
But I will say honestly, yeah, the class is coming. Really good feat. PSO2 made a good choice with this one. A lot of people were not gonna. I know I've seen a lot of people say they were not gonna play this game if they did not have their classes.
Yep.
And although I'm hoping that they really do fix some things especially with Braver and Bouncer, just to make them, because I feel like they're going to be extremely broken. I'm also hoping Gunblade. I was really hoping for this one. I like, dude, the entire time I was just like, dude, Polo 4 is coming. This is their chance. They can announce it. They probably won't, but I'm happy if they do. And I don't want it to be Luster.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to expect Luster, but it's probably going to be probably have some familiarity with it, but it would be completely different.
Yeah, because honestly, regular Gunblade and PSO2 is a lot more fun to me than Luster, given that there's more PAs I can use, and it's not just the same playstyle over and over. I can always change it up if I want to go Tector or Fighter or Hunter, or at 12, you know, and just mix it up with different classes. So it's just a little bit more fun. I'm honestly just happy. Upset that I gotta wait a year, but just happy that it's coming regardless. I can manage whatever. So there's just a lot of planning that's going to go into pretty much playing every class.
Yeah.
But all to say, I mean, honestly, if we had to do like a final wrap up, how are you guys looking at New Genesis right now as far as like ratings go for what you've seen and what you've played? What are your expected ratings for New Genesis? Final question.
Can I answer last? This one I don't know.
I would say, okay, I went into the first closed beta on a high, and I said it was about a 9 or a 10. And then upon thinking it, I gave it about an 8. And I would probably sit on an 8 still from what I've experienced with the closed beta, but there is still some rough edges they need to polish. So I would say, in terms of my hype, I would say my hype's at a 9, but I would say the way I feel about New Genesis right now is about an 8. But it's also like, that'll probably drop as well. Like what I had seen in the closed beta will drop once New Genesis's full release comes out, and maybe that'll become an 8, and what we saw in the closed beta will become a 6 or something like that. That makes sense because we only had like a snippet of the content. So I'm pretty positive about it, I would say.
Okay, honey, what about you?
What's your excitement level at?
I'm not excited. Okay, the one thing I am I really love, and pretty much is getting most of the points, is pretty much the equivalent to the UQ.
Okay.
I freaking love that. Like, I thought that was so cool that you can actually like move up around the bosses, and that like everyone goes to the same spot. And, you know, everyone's there anticipating the boss. Like, I thought that was just so nice. And you get, like, paired up and everything. And you get to fight this, like, huge thing. So because of that, and I'm just giving a score based on mainly that, I think out of 10, I'd give it maybe a 6 or 7 from the beta, just because I had so many issues with partying up, like getting separated from my party whenever I moved to like a new map. Like sometimes it would just split me and my friends because the map's full, and like the whole thing that I love about playing these games is playing with my friends. So it sucked when I was split up on my own, but then it sucked when one of my friends was left out too. And because of that, like, to me, that's like a big like no. So like I think 6 or 7 for me.
Fair. What about you, King?
Not speaking on it.
You can't ask us the question.
What the? That's not fair.
All right. I would give it an 8, but strictly because Gunblade is coming back, 8.5. Any game with a Gunblade, I am always excited for. Gunblade characters have always been sort of my favorites since Final Fantasy. You know, you have Squall, you have Lightning, and then we're taking it even further with 14, and then bringing Gunbreaker class. I've recently just developed a love for the style of Gunblades. So anytime where I get to play as that, it's already going to be a good time for me. And them adding it back to the game was just a definite 8.5 for me. Now, my original rating was going to be a 9. And that's what I said after the first closed beta. But what recently brought it down was just the fact of there not being a lot of content, or me not feeling like there's going to be a lot of content when the game starts, versus what we're used to now playing PSO2. It's kind of just like going back to regular PSO. And I feel like there's a lot more planned, yes. But I feel like they're going back to the drawing board of bringing us back to like this basic play style. And then as we move forward with levels, then they'll start bringing in the really crazy stuff. So for now, is an 8.5 until I can see just a little bit more.
Fair. So when you were talking about Lightning in Final Fantasy, we were talking about Kingdom Hearts with Lightning McQueen?
I'm walking away. I wish, dude. I was honestly hoping for Cars to make its way to Kingdom Hearts at some point, just have a giant race, but we ended up getting
Can someone mod
Disney
Final Fantasy
thing.
13 to have Lightning McQueen instead of Lightning?
Every time I do Viagra, I just hear ka-chow.
Oh
Oh
god.
man. As fun as this has been though, guys, it looks like we're reaching our time for today's podcast. And honestly, it's been a good day having you here today, honey. And always good to talk to you again, Anamana. As always, you can find this podcast on all major platforms and the live stream archives on YouTube. And again, thank you for joining us today. But before we leave, where can everyone find your content, honey?
On Twitch. honeyjar_ on Twitch. And I will be streaming PSO2. New Genesis coming out. And a variety of other games as well. But yeah, thank you for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun.
It was good.
Absolutely. You have to come to Ship One with us, though.
I can't.
Or at least make one Ship One character, because everybody's coming to Ship One. We all got to do like a day one. We're doing group photos for everything.
I'll make a character, but my main's on Ship 2.
We got a few people making extra characters for other ships.
Yeah, so it's all good. But
pressure.
Before we leave, there's a little something that we do after every single podcast, and we just say a little "until next time" and may your guiding light shine. Ready?
Okay.
All right. So I'm King Cosmo, and this is Anamana. We'll catch you guys next week for more Oracle Fleet. Until next time.
Until next time.
Until next time.
May your guiding light shine.
And may your guiding light shine. Oh god.
It's great. It makes everyone feel uncomfortable. It's just so great.